Hello, this is Fireworks, your non-diplomatic talk show, where we say it just the way it is, no matter whose house is guard. Hello, you're welcome to another non-diplomatic talk show, the Fireworks, where we say it just the way it is, no matter whose house is guard. My name is Eshomomoh, and with me today to take a look at certain happenings in the Christendom and also especially in the political arena in Nigeria. I'm talking about Pastor Tunde Bakare, the vice presidential candidate of the Congress for Progressive Change, CPC. Sir, you're welcome to my talk today.
Thank you very much. Nice being on your show again.
Yeah, Pastor Bakare, Pastor, the last time I had a talk with you, you were the convener of SNG. Eventually, we realized that it was just a platform for you to get a political base. So you metamorphosed from SNG into CPC. How did the transformation take place?
Those are your words. They are not a true reflection of what actually took place. The SNG was not a platform to secure a political base, not in the least. The SNG was a child of necessity. There was crisis in the polity. The country was sick. The president of Yaradua was sick. Carried away into a foreign land where he was receiving treatment. The sick president was receiving treatment. The sick nation was not receiving any. We became voiceless and headless. And to make Jonathan Goodluck the acting president, before eventually he became the president, was the issue. And I convened the meeting on the 7th of January 2010 and asked all key players, civil society organizations, and activists in the political terrain, how can intelligent people be here and these things are happening in our country? Let us raise the standard. And right there on the 7th of January, Save Nigeria Group was born.
And I would say that Save Nigerian Group had tremendous success in mobilizing the polity.
Like it was never done. They didn't even think it would happen. There were people within that hall, some of them active players before, who had been in the trenches, as they say, that said, we need to send buses to Ekiti to take people there to Abuja. Another one said, if you go to Abuja and march, it will not succeed because it will be a flop. But you see, they didn't know the tremendous goodwill we have built across the nation, our network and everything. And I said to them, I will lead it, it will not flop. And we contacted our group in the different places, some from Jos, some from Kaduna, and all over those within Abuja. We had a successful match, and we repeated it in Lagos also. And that, to a large extent, in addition to what other people did, averted that disaster of Nigeria going to the precipice. So it had nothing to do with seeking a political base.
Now, were you, because of the tremendous success the Save Nigerian Group had, you were encouraged by that success to take active role in politics?
Not really. I will go further and explain to you. And I usually don't like to mention names, but this time I will mention names so that they could be verified. While we're trying to knock and shape SNG to give it structure, because what happened at the Sheraton Hotel on the 7th of January, it was a loose association of different groups coming together. And if there has no substance or structure, it will soon throw time to disruption. We met at what then became the SNG Secretariat on the 3rd of May to make certain things known to every participant and those who are there at the matches that, look, SNG needs to be structured. So if you as an individual organization wants to be part of SNG, because we are going to go through registration, we want a letter of commitment so that we know who is who. At that point in time, the bulk of the funds and everything were coming from a few people. And So that was given out that day. And that same day also were looking at what we call a new charter. The irreducible minimum Nigerians must demand from their leaders. Because unlike other civil society organizations, SNG started as a political organization, not as a civil society organization, as a political organization seeking to intervene in the mess that was going on and to bring order into the polity. There, a very notable Nigerian and one of the chieftains of Nadeko spoke and asked us a question. He said, Pastor Bakari, are you raising intelligent, credible people to vote for these same people that want to change? How can you be raising a formidable number of people and we have such a followership?
That would just be voters.
That would just be voting for irresponsible people? That gave us a concern that there's a step to go further. Let us engage the political class. What do you have for Nigerians? And that's how the process began of us meeting all the key players. The President Jonathan himself, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Eventually we met the CPC flag bearer, General Muhammadu Buhari. And all the time we were doing this meeting, it didn't even cross my mind. And everyone who cared to listen, then I told them two things. I'll not be part of a political party, and I will not seek any elective office.
But you eventually became part of it, and you sought political office through CPC.
Oh, yeah. I didn't seek, I was invited. They're two different things.
You didn't seek, you were invited?
Oh, yes. I didn't seek, I didn't lobby for anything. In fact, as of January the 15th, when General Muhammadu Buhari made the call and requested that I be his running mate, the truth be told, at that point in time, I'd said, look, let it go the way it wants to go. We have tried our best. We are willing to hang our willows and just wait to see how things will develop. And before this time, as we're engaging each political class, or political party or politician, so to say, we are also doing so within the organization, SNG. There was the 3G, the Good Governance Group, led by Masari, who later became a candidate with CPC, and my friend Malam Nasru El-Rufai. Also part of the 3G was Kenny Namani. So 3G was part of SNG. Campaign for Democracy was part of SNG. Women Arise was part of SNG. ARG, Afenifere Regional Group, was part of SNG.
They were all part of SNG. But have you heard people say that?
Just wait. ICRD, which I pioneered in 2007, also International Center for Reconstruction and Development, was part of SNG. So we had a political arm that was engaging these different politicians to find out exactly what do they have for Nigerians, to know who would we pitch our tent with when push comes to shove.
But have you heard a lot of people said that Pastor Bakari, at the point he accepted to run on the ticket of CPC, that he lost his credibility? The support, the goodwill you had enjoyed with SNG, that at that point you became actively involved in the political arena, that the wide acceptance, you lost it at that moment. Have you heard people say that?
Well, not to me directly. I read some things like that in the newspaper, and people were entitled to their opinion. Opinion is like gnosis. Everybody has it, they all look different. I'm yet to see the connection. I understand what you've said, but let me put this to you. Okay. SNG started as a child of necessity, grew into engaging the political class with a view to giving a future to our country. I was the convener.
More or less the arrowhead of SNG, not just the convener.
Well, the arrowhead, probably the pillar.
Exactly. So the people are taught that pastors should just remain at the background, allow other people to take active role. Wait a minute,
let's face it. When we did the first match, one of those who added weight to what we did was Professor Wole Soyinka. Another person who shouldered a lot of responsibility was Femi Falana, Yinka Odumaki of ARG, Dr. Joe Dumaki of Campaign for Democracy and Women Arise. These were the people in the forefront of the thing, alongside with elder statesmen like Solomon Asemota SAN, who is in his 70s, General Kanyade in his 70s, Dr. Amos Akimba in his 70s. They marched with us, alongside with members of our church network and what have you. Do you understand me?
Exactly.
So, now, how do you lose your credibility because you want to serve your nation? Professor Wole Soyinka eventually formed a party. Femi Falana is the chairman of a political party. Do you get my point?
But what I'm driving at was that maybe your involvement was like the crack, because if you call people out now on the platform of SNG, you're not going to have the kind of followers you used to have.
How do you
Because
know?
you become partisan.
Now, that brings me to something else. Credibility will not allow me to take advantage of something, and I never sought it to start with. There's no member of SNG today that will tell you that I called, oh, you must come to CPC. No. We knew that some will come to CPC naturally because they believe in what I'm doing, and others will remain in different parties. To start with, all the people who are in SNG were in different political parties ever before SNG was formed.
So, but as it is now, SNG is dead.
Who killed it?
Your involvement in politics.
That's not true. SNG is still alive. SNG is still running its secretariat. In fact, we are meeting in July.
Okay, now I was saying that a lot of people had wondered why Pastor got involved in politics and running as a running mate to Buhari, that a lot of people had thought of, seen that, look, this man is of the expired leadership, is of the expired generation. Even you said so sometime back in 2006. Let me quote something that was written about you in Punch of, I think, October 2, 2006. Let me quote you out. He said, "Let me tell you the truth by the Spirit of God. Neither OBJ, Atiku, IBB, and this tall one, Buhari, are part of the new. They are part of the old that is decaying. The old one is passing away. The new is emerging, and these ones are not part of that new." But you eventually became a running mate to this one that is decaying, that is not part of the new.
I thank you for your analysis, but that's a message taken out of a message. I will explain to you. I'm not one person who will deny what I've said.
Okay.
Integrity forbids that. I agree, I said so. I said so within the context of a message. Now, let me go back, and I want you to take the entire tape and listen to it. Amongst Yoruba people, they have a saying, "Ọmọdé gbọ́n, àgbà gbọ́n, la fi dálẹ̀ Ifẹ̀."
What's the meaning of that?
Simply means nobody has monopoly of wisdom. That in Ife kingdom, the wisdom of the ancient or the old people, the older generation, the young people, are fused together into driving the society. In the Bible, God says, "I will pour my spirit upon all flesh. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions." We are facing a disconnect, a real disconnect. That's why I said that was taken out of context. I said so, but it was taken out of context, and I'll put it within that context that it should be.
We'll go on break now, and when we come back, Pastor will still be here. I promise you we're going to put facts straight this time around. Please don't go away.